Hey, it's me again with rebooted Game of Month thing, Game Over. I present to you Forged in Godfire, which is an idle tycoon game where you are a blacksmith and you blacksmith stuff. Very simple. So, how the game works is you start a day cycle. And during a day cycle, your character will automatically forge. But if you alternate between A and D, you will build up a combo, and the combo increases the power of your forge. And items require a certain amount of forging to be created. And when you create an item, you earn the income during a day, and once the day ends, it's added to the player coin. Use this player coin to unlock new items, and those new items give you money. There are also badges, which are kind of like upgrades and achievements rolled into one. Very simple. You have things like increased hammer power, increased daytime, increases the value of items, stuff like that. It's very simple. Now, originally, this game is kind of like 2 years in the making. I originally made a mobile idle game, which I didn't finish, which was kind of similar, but also kind of not. It was fairly similar. There's no like combo meter and stuff, and you didn't have to alternate, and you just kind of tapped the screen. And that mobile game was inspired by an actual mobile game called Tapsmiths, which is a game I really enjoy. Sadly, can't really play it because when you download it and after like a day or two of playtime, you can't open it anymore. It will just crash immediately. So I was like, I want to experience Tapsmiths, but I can't. So I'll just make it. And then I didn't make it. And then I actually made it now. Now, the structure of this video is going to be different from how I used to do Game of Month videos. There are 4 different sections. Well, I finally started using maps, structs, and data tables. I don't know why I've never used these. It makes my life 10 times easier. And if I actually had a save system for Forged in Godfire, maps and arrays would have made my life 10 times easier. Because I remember with Ari, I had so many variables I had to save when I could have just had one variable with a bunch of data in it. And it's very frustrating to think about. I learned how to use dynamic sounds. They're very cool. Make the game much more alive, even though there's not a lot of sounds actually in the game, but I think it's nice. I got better at understanding physics and how to use it properly. I hate physics. They're frustrating to work with, but you know, I used the physics in a way that didn't piss me off after I fixed it 40 different times. So it's nice. And I'm using widgets a lot better. I learned how to use UI borders. I've been making them more modular, although I do need to make them even more modular because I still have 14 different widgets that pretty much do the same thing. The forge sounds are really nice and were my first dive into dynamic sounds. So the different rarities have a different sound when you complete a forge. So common is like, you know, it's okay. Sorry, junk, which is the common, is kind of like not really there. Quality, you get a little bit more. Then for enhanced and masterwork, they both have the same sound because I couldn't make the sound anymore. So it's a gradual progression based on the rarity, and I think that's really cool. The effects for the day cycle and the forging particles are really cool. I like how the day, it really goes, and I really like how I did that. The way the items fly off the anvil is satisfying. That's where the physics comes in, and I had to do a lot to make that not look like dog shit. And the background environment is cool, but those are assets. So the art's kind of bad, but that's because I'm not great at drawing. I would love to go back and touch up some stuff or just straight up redo them, or to finish some of them, because some of the masterwork items I didn't have time to do them. So 4 items don't even have an actual icon, so I would like to actually make those Gameplay kind of sucks for PC. It wasn't built in mind, as I was like very like, yeah, I want the Tapsmith's alternating thing, but it didn't work. It ends up just being a burden on the player's hands. It's also not fun in the gameplay sense. I think the collecting aspect of collecting items is very fun, but the actual gameplay of earning those items, not very fun. You're just spamming A and D to build up a combo over and over. Then once you built the combo, you can just kind of slow down and just D, A, D. It's not engaging. It's boring. For tooltips that I have when you hover over items and badges, for items, they don't tell you the spawn chance, which is pretty important. It just slipped my mind. I didn't think about that. It would be nice info to have. And you also don't know the requirements for badges, which are the upgrades. It's just question marks. And I don't think that's very good for the player. So if I could go back, I'd probably change that. To be frank, I'd make a whole different game. Something more like Tycoon game and an incremental in the same way, kind of in the vein of like Potionomics or something. The main problem with the game is that I really wanted to make something reminiscent of Tapsmiths or the original mobile prototype of this game, and that really hurt the overall game and the fun factor. But in terms of actual gameplay, I'd start with, instead of randomly forging stuff and have the weighted chance of forging, I turn it into where you'd get a choice. You'd click on the item you want to forge, spend some money, and you would have a kind of rhythm game, I guess, where each item would have its own chart. And once you finish this chart, the item is forged and you sell it to somebody who ordered it. With this, however, things like the masterwork and enhanced items and the junk items would kind of be obsolete, because giving somebody Excalibur over and over isn't really realistic. Although it's a video game, who gives a shit? But like, still, giving somebody Excalibur over and over and over again, or like Milnir, think we'd have bigger problems on our hands. So it'd probably just be like, oh yeah, here's a short sword, here's a claymore, here's a kanabo, here's a katana or something, you know? I would also try to find some sort of ways that I could implement the lore and character designs me and my friend Nick conjured up for the original mobile prototype, as I think they're pretty cool. I don't know how I'd actually implement them, but I'd try. And there's probably more nuanced things I would do as well, but explaining them would increase the video's length like tenfold. So that about wraps up my thoughts and everything about Forged in Godfire. You can go play it on itch, as well as the other games on there. Ari, Shadows of Cuddle, and Lucid, I guess. Fucking hate Lucid. That's it for me. As I said in my update video, start streaming soon. And we'll begin working on next month's game, which I already have a name for the daylight. So have fun with that. Uh, Goodbye.